Will I bounce back in 2020? ...2019. It's been a busy one. It's been a tale of two halves as well. I spent the first half of 2019 in Vienna, and the latter half back here in Leeds. I was toing and froing, trying to live two lives at once before making the decision to move back to Leeds, and we eventually moved back in June. Choosing Leeds over Vienna sounds a bit mad, doesn't it? It sounds a bit mad. Vienna's an amazing place, and I met some fantastic people there, but at the end of the day, it wasn't home. I missed my friends. I missed my friends and the network that I'd built for me professionally, personally, over the years that I'd been in Leeds. So I made the decision to move back. It was best for me. Vienna's a wonderful place, and if anyone wants any tips on the trail running in Vienna, just hit me up. It's an amazing place. I'd love to get back there soon. If you watched the last film I uploaded, you'll have seen my reflections on 2018 and how much of a good year that was. If you didn't see that, I guess you should go watch that now, and I'll wait. Okay, cool. Right. So if you saw that video, you'll know that the goals I set for 2019 were: number one was to produce a monthly journal. First hurdle, not really even out of the gate. I didn't pay any attention to that, and I never did it. So, in fact, in the first half of 2019, I'd only produced 2 videos. That gives you a bit of an idea, the sort of place I was in at the time. I'm pleased to say that I really picked up at the latter half of the year, producing a further 14 or 15 videos, which brings the total videos per year to 17, which is on average more than once a month. Is that a minor victory? Not quite. Okay, so that's a complete fail, but never mind. So we're 0 for 1 so far. Full disclosure, I'm on my way back from the run now. I filmed everything. In the period of a month of July, I made 6 films. Summer trail running. I completely forgot to mention that. I'm mega proud of that. I'm so proud of that. And I know I took that's not the right one. I know I took my eyes off the prize with that task, but I mean, that's got to count for something, right? Anyway, just wanted to add that in because it's stupid to have this video and not mention that. Anyway, back to the video. Number 2 was to complete the Mozart 100. In 2018, I had a ticket for Mozart 100, and due to an Achilles injury, I never made it to Salzburg. I'm pleased to say, in 2019, I made it to Salzburg. I made it to the start line, but unfortunately, it was a DNF. I didn't finish. It started pretty well. I started at the back. I was recovering from a cold, but I was good to go. So yeah, I started right at the back, pretty much near the back marker, slowly working my way up the field, taking my time. Got to the 30k checkpoint where all the drop bags are. Now, where the drop bags are is also where they start the half marathon. It's also where the relay comes through, and it's also where the slightly shorter Mozart ultra distance race, that's where the leaders start passing you if you're at the back of the pack of the Mozart. In amongst all that chaos, I managed to get sent the wrong way. I was wearing a red bib. But also as an option in the Mozart 100, you're allowed to drop distance whenever you like. So the marshal never really said anything to me. And obviously it was down to me and my decision It was like 4k later, I realised I'd gone the wrong way. I could have carried on and completed the ultra, but I was there to do the Mozart 100. I turned round, I went back, I picked up from where I left off, and I started to chase down the pack because I was well and truly at the back. I think it took me about 2.5 hours to catch the next runner, past some very sad looking broken people, quite a few of them. And when I eventually got to the next checkpoint in Winkel, I was 12, 15, 16 minutes or something off the cutoff, and I was out. So not the best finish to the Mozart 100. So that's another So we're 0 for 2. Let's bring on the third one. Marathon TB, a marathon TB. Don't want to get marathon TB. Marathon PB, tick, finally. 1 for 3, here we go. Right, Seville Marathon in February. I got my PB in the marathon. Happy with that result, I guess. It was the first marathon I'd attempted since 2011. I think I just wanted to get a marathon in the bag. I just wanted to get the PB out of the way. 3:43 from 4:05. So that's a 22-minute PB. Can't really argue with that. Quite happy. I think as a result of sort of doing that achievement, I kind of realised I'm not really a marathon guy. You know, I don't enjoy them quite as much as other people. I do appreciate that they take a lot of hard work to train for, and I do know that I could probably do a lot better than that if I focus my time and attention to it. But I'm too busy getting distracted by the beautiful trails around the world, or around the UK, or around my hometown. So it's just nice to get something ticked off, really. So that's it for my 2019 goals. I'm actually disappointed in that reduced list format, which at the time I thought was a good idea. Next year will be more akin to 2018's goals, where I actually had a printed list on the fridge and I was ticking things off as I went, and it was a really good motivation to, well, especially when I reached for the fridge. So with that in mind, I'm just going to revisit that again, just to see if I've made the improvement. Are you still with me? So number 1, run 1,000 miles. I managed to do this again. It was only last week where I hit 2,000k again, which is similar to 2018, but not quite the 2,200 which I got in 2018. I'm not going to dwell on that, because at the beginning of December, I thought, oh, there's 200k to go. I could push through and try and do that. But then maybe, you know, I could get injured at the end of December and start 2020 injured, which isn't really the good way to start the year. So I feel a lot better. I feel niggle free going into 2020, and that is just a much better way to start. And maybe in 2020 I can beat 2018's mileage, which leads on to number 2, which is avoid injury through stupidity. Once again, tick, kind of. The stupid thing that I did this year was drive from Leeds in a van to Vienna in a van, back to Leeds in a van, with only like a day between. And all that driving, all that time in that driving position, it resulted in a really tight left hip, which kind of turned into a weird running injury, which lasted for a long time. Still getting the back end of that now, really. So number 3 again, ultra marathons. I had a bad time with ultras this year, not gonna lie. Started off in March, I did the Hardmoors 50, DNF. It was very cold. The Hardmoors 50 made the BBC News headlines in 2018 with its biblical weather. There was snowstorms, there was drifts, and it was freezing cold, and quite a few people had to be kind of rescued and stuff. It's all over the news, you can look it up. And arguably, this year was even worse, because rather than snow, we had freezing cold rain. I was soaked to the bone through all my gear. It could have been a bad gear decision, but I don't know anyone or anything that could hold off that rain. After 8 hours and 30 miles, I threw in the towel. I couldn't feel my hands, I couldn't reach for food, I didn't have use of my hands. Massive kudos to anyone who finished that race, but I didn't manage it. So that would lead on to June, Mozart 100. You know the story there. That's 2 DNFs out of 2. So my only retribution this year was back in November. I went and did the Punk Panther short circuit ultra marathon, which I'm pleased to say I managed to complete. I was very pleased that I managed to complete the ultra, which would have meant I'm 1 for 3 in 2019 for ultras, but it's all a great learning curve, I guess. There she comes. She's going to come straight for my face. Oh, that's a good shot. Oh. So not really a fantastic year for ultra marathons, but on to the next one. Fell running. I had a fantastic year for fell running. Really pleased with my performances in my fell running. I'd say it's probably my favorite discipline. I did 23 fell races. I did 23 fell races in 2019. Saureen Stanbury Splash, sponsored by Saureen, Wadsworth Trog,
Heptonstall, Gisborough Moors, Newlands Memorial Fell Race, the Three Peaks, that's a 10-minute PB on that one. John Carr Fell Race, Dick Hudson's Fell Race, Otley Shevin, Kettlewell Anniversary, Howtown Fell Race, oh god, I've just got loads of mad. Howtown Fell Race, Black Fell Race, Wasdale, Ingleborough, Holmars, Kentmere, Borrowdale, Great Whernside, Withens, the British Fell Relays at Dark Peak, Mythenroyd.
And the Gathering Winter Falls Relay. That's a pretty good year for fell running. Pretty chuffed with that. My fell running's come along really well. It's so much to do with experience fell running. I know a lot of people watching might not be familiar with fell running. I just urge you to give it a go. Check out the FRA website. I'll post a link to that below. Fantastic community. Get involved. So on to PBs for 2019. We've already mentioned this. We've already mentioned the marathon, and that was great. But I also got a PB in the 10 mile, which crept up on me. I had no idea I'd be able to do it. I just sort of on a whim entered the Ecup 10 and managed a PB by a few seconds, albeit, but it was really nice, a bit of a confidence booster for me. I didn't really think I'd be able to do that, and I just had a good day. It was warm, plenty of water, and you know, just the experience, just my general experience just creeping up on me, and surprising me, pleasantly surprised by the 10 mile PB. Again, road racing isn't really something I strive for. I'm not a number cruncher. I do like to just get out and enjoy things, but every now and then it's really good to test yourself. On to cross training now. Looking like an idiot in public. It's a tick. I started yoga at the beginning of last year as a sort of a pre-run and post-run sort of thing. Slowly crept into my daily routine. I do it every day, or I try to do it every day, most days, if I'm not late for work. And yeah, it's like a pre-coffee activity now. And really pleased with how it's come along. I just feel a lot better. I'm no expert, but I do feel much better for doing some yoga. Here's a plane. Speaking of cross training, I did my first sky race. This year, the Snowdon Skyline, an amazing race, but I went into that blind. I'd never done any sky running before, and I thought, you know, with my fell running experience and my running experience, I'd do okay. I thought, oh yeah, I'll do all right, or mid-pack, whatever. I was right at the bloody back of that thing. Eye-opening stuff. I've signed up for a few other sky races, but I'll tell you about them in the next video. So sky running, it's got a lot more to do with climbing than it has with running, definitely. Number 7, learn motion graphics in general. I'm improving, I'd say. I'm just sort of going along at my own pace. There's not really much to be said about that. Number 8 was make a mini doc. This year I did the Punk Panther Reservoir Dogs flyby. And that was mixed in with a bit of volunteering, which is fun and helpful for race organisers. Again, I urge you to volunteer. It's a good way to get free race entry. Number 9, expand the channel. The trajectory is going pretty well. 17 videos produced this year compared to the 12 from last year. So I can't complain about that. And number 10 was put on a race. Now we did that last year too. We did the Kirkstall-Carverley Cutter, which was a success, and I'm pleased to tell you that we're doing it again next year in January. I hope you've signed up. We're about half full now. I'm sad to say there was no Bramley Full tag team race this year. Like I said earlier, like, it was a bit of a mad year for me, and the time of year that fell in just meant it was impossible to do. Maybe that can make a return soon. Where are we going? I just need to look out for people because I get embarrassed vlogging in front of people. No, there's no one here. The 4th Holly Hustle was a great success. We had a new venue and that worked really well. So I'm really happy with that, and I'm pleased to say it's happening again in November. The date will be released very soon and will go on sale soon as well. Thanks for watching my convoluted review of 2019. I hope I didn't bore you too much. I hope you had a wonderful and successful 2019. Let me know in the comments how you got on. I'd love to hear from you. The next video will be my goals for 2020. It's going to be a convoluted, concise, overthought mess, and I hope you enjoy it. We'll see you there. Bye-bye.